The presentation of children has to do with the respect that the individual must be respected.
From his iconic portrayal of King Mongkut in The King and I and his role in the Ten Commandments, Yul Brynner was nothing short of an exceptional actor. However, despite his immense talent and fame, life was harsh not only to him but also to his wife. What were the circumstances, and how does his wife come into play in all of this? Join us as we answer all these questions and more. The early life and childhood of Yul Brynner. Yul Brynner, originally named Yuli Borisovich Brynner, was born on July 11, 1920, in Vladivostok, Russia. His father, Boris Brynner, was an engineer with roots from both Russia and Sweden who specialized in mining, while his mother, Marusia Blagovidova, had Russian and partial Romani heritage. This diverse background played a critical role in molding his unique identity, exposing him to various cultural influences from a young age. Yul Brynner's account of his early years was often a mix of truths and fabrications, many of which were perpetuated by Brynner himself. He enjoyed the mystery he created about his origins, resulting in multiple, contradictory stories circulating about his birth and upbringing. He humorously noted that there were about 10 or 12 different versions of his early life. Despite these tales, the factual details were confirmed following his death, with his tombstone corroborating his birthday as July 11, 1920. In 1923, after his father left the family behind, Yul and his mother moved to Harbin, China. Harbin, known as the Paris of the East, was a lively city with a blend of Chinese, Russian, and other international influences. This eclectic environment offered Yul the first tastes of a multicultural world and helped him to develop his linguistic skills. Young Yul quickly adapted to his new surroundings, learning to speak Chinese and continuing his education in a bilingual school. His family's life in Harbin came with a lot of challenges. Yul and his mother faced financial difficulties, which later prompted them to look for better opportunities elsewhere. It was around this time that the conflict between China and Japan in 1932 was becoming increasingly strong. This was when the family decided to take the daring step to relocate to Paris, France in 1934. This move would further shape Yul's versatile and dynamic character. Paris during this time was the cultural epicenter of Europe, which was filled with artistic and intellectual passions. The shift to Paris provided Yul with access to the world's best art, music, and education, profoundly impacting his early development. In Paris, Yul attended the prestigious Lycée Montcel, where his education was diverse and accurate. Beyond the typical curriculum, he was exposed to the arts and humanities, which ignited his passion for performance. During his time at Lycée Montcel, he developed a significant interest in music, particularly the guitar. He began playing in Russian nightclubs to support his family, showcasing his developing talent and deepening his appreciation for diverse musical genres. Journey to his career. Before fully committing to acting, Yul's adventurous spirit saw him exploring other unusual paths. At the age of 13, he left home to join a traveling gypsy troupe, playing the guitar. He also stepped into the world of acrobatics as a trapeze artist with the renowned Cirque d'Hiver in France. However, he suffered a fall from the parallel bars in 1937, which resulted in 49 fractures, abruptly halting his circus career. This accident, while traumatic, opened another path for Yul when he shifted his focus to the stage during his recovery. Brynner's multilingual abilities further fueled his theatrical ambitions. This ambition prompted his move to America in 1940, where he initially struggled again, taking various odd jobs from driving a bus for an actor's company to playing small roles on Broadway. His versatility and dramatic personality saw him adapt quickly to these roles, setting the stage for future successes. In 1941, Brynner marked his entrance into the world of theater with a debut performance in Shakespeare's Twelfth Night on Broadway, playing the role of Fabian. He delivered a few lines in broken English with a noticeable Russian accent, demonstrating his early versatility as a performer. However, the production faced an abrupt end following the attack on Pearl Harbor and the subsequent declaration of war by the United States. As a result, he had to adapt again to the changing landscape, which he did by taking on the role of a radio commentator for the Voice of America radio station. His job at the radio station was to broadcast war propaganda in both French and Russian, showcasing his multilingual abilities. The years that followed saw him diversifying his professional pursuits. He engaged occasionally in limited acting projects, co-starring with Mary Martin in 1946's The Lute Song, and explored modeling, which even included a notable nude photo shoot by George Platt Lynes. In addition to his academic and musical pursuits, Brynner studied acting under Michael Chekhov, a renowned actor and practitioner of method acting. Michael Chekhov, the nephew of the renowned playwright Anton Chekhov, provided Yul with a profound understanding of the craft of acting. This experience allowed Yul to develop a deep, methodical approach to his roles, which would later distinguish him in Hollywood and on Broadway. As Yul polished his talents, his professional name also evolved. Initially, he performed under various pseudonyms, including Taija Khan, which was to carve out a niche for himself as a singer and guitarist in Parisian nightclubs. His performances were not just about earning a livelihood. They were instrumental in refining his stage presence and performance skills. Success in Hollywood. Yul Brynner's breakthrough came with his iconic role as King Mongkut in the Broadway production of The King and I in 1951. This role was a defining moment in his career, showcasing his commanding presence and unique charisma. The journey to becoming the iconic King Mongkut of Siam started initially as one of adversity, which led to eventual triumph for Brynner. When he initially auditioned for the role in 1950, the production focused primarily on Gertrude Lawrence, who played Anna, the English governess. Audiences initially reacted negatively, with one even throwing a shoe at him during a performance. Despite the rocky start, Brynner's captivating performances soon turned the tide to his favor. Brynner was then cast in the role after being noticed for his good looks and stage presence. One of the most notable aspects of his transformation for the role was his decision to shave his head, a look that not only generated significant publicity, but also became synonymous with his character, and later, his own personality. His dynamic performance, especially his chemistry with co-star Gertrude Lawrence, captivated audiences and critics, contributing to the show's success in Hollywood. The success of The King and I on Broadway led to Brynner reprising the role in the 1956 film Adaptation. After the release of the movie version in March 1956, Brynner won a Tony Award for Best Featured Actor in a Musical and eventually an Academy Award for Best Actor for the film. His chemistry with Deborah Kerr in the film became one of the highlights of the production. His co-star, Charlton Heston, praised Brynner's work, stating, "Yul's work in The King and I was beyond compare." His dedication to the role was evident as he performed it over 4,600 times on stage, a testament to his commitment and love for the character. This achievement solidified his status as a leading man in Hollywood and made his portrayal of King Mongkut one of the most memorable performances in film history. Following his success, Brynner continued to take on significant roles in major films. He starred as Pharaoh Ramesses II in The Ten Commandments, 1956, a performance that further established his reputation as a versatile and talented actor. His ability to embody such diverse characters made him a sought-after talent in the industry. His performances in films like Anastasia, 1956, The Magnificent Seven, 1960, and Westworld, 1973, demonstrated his remarkable range as an actor. In later interviews, Brynner often reflected on how The King and I allowed him to showcase his full range of talents and profoundly impacted his professional and personal life. His distinctive style and powerful performances in the role left a lasting legacy in the entertainment world. Yul Brynner's Life Beyond the Screen, a passion for photography. Yul Brynner's life extended far beyond the limits of Hollywood. Brynner's multifaceted talents encompassed photography, music, writing, and humanitarian work, making him a true Renaissance man. He embraced his passions with the same intensity and commitment that defined his acting career, channeling his creative energy into various art forms, often surprising those around him with his profound skill. Brynner's love for photography was more than a mere hobby. It became a significant aspect of his life outside of acting. He carried his camera everywhere, capturing candid moments not just on film sets, but also in his personal life and during his humanitarian missions. Photography, for him, was a way to document the world as he saw it, to freeze moments in time that reflected the depth of human emotion and experience. His subjects ranged from family members and friends to fellow actors, directors, and technicians on set, each photo revealing his keen eye for detail and his sensitivity to the nuances of life. His work with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, allowed Brynner to blend his artistic talents with his humanitarian efforts. As a special consultant on refugees, he used his camera to document the lives of displaced people, capturing the resilience and hardship of those affected by war and displacement. These images weren't just snapshots. They were powerful statements that brought attention to the refugee crisis, showing the world the human faces behind the statistics. One of the most poignant aspects of Brynner's photographic journey was the bond it created with his daughter, Victoria. Although they had been separated when she was young, photography became the bridge that reconnected them. When Victoria turned 15, Brynner gifted her a camera, recognizing her budding interest in photography. This gift became a symbol of their shared passion, and they spent countless hours discussing the work of renowned photographers like André Kertész and Henri Cartier-Bresson. Photography, for Brynner, was a deeply personal way to connect with his daughter, and it allowed him to share his creative world with her. After his passing, Victoria discovered an extensive archive of his photographs, meticulously organized and labeled. Among these were color slides and notes from the production of The 10 Commandments, offering a rare glimpse into the behind-the-scenes world of one of Hollywood's most iconic films. Sorting through these photos, Victoria came to realize that her father's love for photography ran deep. It wasn't just a side pursuit, but a central part of who he was. His daughter later compiled these works into a book titled Yul Brynner, Photographer, a testament to his artistic legacy and his extraordinary ability to capture life's fleeting moments with both precision and heart. An author with a cause. In addition to his visual artistry, Brynner was also an accomplished author. His first book, Bring Forth the Children, A Journey to the Forgotten People of Europe and the Middle East, published in 1960, was born from his humanitarian work. The book reflects his commitment to helping refugees and displaced individuals, offering readers a first-hand look into the lives of those affected by war and poverty. Brynner's writing in Bring Forth the Children is both empathetic and powerful, shining a light on the struggles faced by people who had lost everything. It was more than just a journal, it was a call to action, urging readers to care about these forgotten communities and to acknowledge the shared humanity that binds us all. His second book, The Yul Brynner Cookbook, Food Fit for the King and You, published in 1983, revealed yet another of his passions, cooking. Brynner loved food, and his cookbook is a reflection of his appreciation for different cuisines and his enjoyment of preparing meals for friends and family. Filled with recipes that he personally enjoyed, the cookbook offered fans a chance to experience a more intimate side of Brynner. While it may have seemed like a departure from his more serious works, the cookbook was another way for Brynner to share a piece of himself with the world. It demonstrated his versatility and his ability to find joy and creativity in even the simplest aspects of life, such as preparing a meal. A musician at heart. Brynner's artistic talents didn't stop at acting, photography, or writing. He was also a skilled guitarist, and music played a central role in his life. Throughout his career, he often incorporated music into his performances, infusing his roles with an added layer of emotion and authenticity. His love for the guitar wasn't just a casual interest. It was a passion that he nurtured throughout his life. Playing the guitar allowed Brynner to express himself in ways that words or images could not. For him, music was a universal language, one that connected him to people and cultures across the world. Music became a private sanctuary for Brynner, a space where he could relax and explore his creativity away from the spotlight. His performances, often accompanied by his guitar, showcased yet another facet of his diverse talents and demonstrated his deep connection to the arts in all its forms. Humanitarian efforts and advocacy. Perhaps one of the most enduring aspects of Brynner's life beyond acting was his commitment to philanthropy. His work with refugees wasn't just a passing interest, it became a lifelong mission. His involvement with the UNHCR started with a simple curiosity about refugee stamps, but quickly evolved into a serious commitment to raising awareness about the plight of displaced people. Brynner took his role as a special consultant for the UNHCR very seriously, often traveling to refugee camps in Asia and the Middle East to witness the conditions firsthand. He wasn't content to just lend his name to the cause. He actively engaged with the issues, putting himself at risk to document the struggles of refugees. Friends often credited his gypsy heritage for his fearless approach to these dangerous situations. Despite the risks, Brynner believed it was his duty to use his fame and resources to bring attention to those who had no voice. In addition to his on-the-ground efforts, Brynner produced 2 documentaries to further highlight refugee issues, using his filmmaking skills to bring these stories to a wider audience. His work in this area demonstrated a deep compassion and a sense of responsibility toward the world's most vulnerable populations. In every facet of his life, whether through photography, writing, music, or humanitarian work, Yul Brynner showed a remarkable ability to live with purpose and passion. His artistic endeavors were not just hobbies, but expressions of his deep curiosity about the world and his desire to leave it a better place. Brynner's life beyond acting was as vibrant and varied as the roles he played on screen, revealing a man of extraordinary talent, vision, and compassion. Yul Brynner's romantic life, a journey through love and marriage. Yul Brynner's life off the screen was as dynamic and multifaceted as his acting career, marked by a series of intense relationships, passionate marriages, and a large blended family. His romantic entanglements spanned decades, crossing cultural and social boundaries, and were often shaped by the demands of his career and the complexities of his public life. Through each marriage, Brynner navigated personal growth, fatherhood, and the pursuit of lasting love, leaving behind a legacy not just as an actor, but as a man deeply committed to those he loved. First marriage, Virginia Gilmore, a Hollywood union. Brynner's first and longest-lasting marriage was to actress Virginia Gilmore, a woman whose own career in Hollywood was already well established by the time they met in 1942. Born Sherman, Virginia Poole. In El Monte, California, Gilmore had been a rising star in the film industry, known for her roles in films like Winter Carnival and The Pride of the Yankees. She also made a significant impact in theater, with her performances in Broadway plays, such as Those Endearing Young Charms and Dear Ruth. Their love story began in a whirlwind. Brynner, who had recently arrived in America, barely spoke English and was still struggling to find his footing in the entertainment industry. He worked various odd jobs, including singing gypsy songs in nightclubs and parking cars. Despite the vast differences in their careers at the time, the connection between Brynner and Gilmore was immediate. They married on September 6, 1944, uniting 2 vibrant personalities from the world of show business. The couple's life together was both glamorous and challenging. Brynner's career soon took off, with his acting talents propelling him into the spotlight. However, the very success that brought them financial security and fame also created tension in their marriage. Brynner's work in Hollywood and the theater often took him away for long stretches, leaving Gilmore to manage their household and their son, Yul Brynner II, largely on her own. Over time, Gilmore's own acting career took a back seat as she chose to focus more on raising their son and supporting her husband's career. Despite their best efforts to maintain a balanced relationship, the strain of Brynner's rising fame and constant travel took its toll. By the early 1960s, their relationship had begun to unravel. After 16 years of marriage, the couple separated in 1960, though they did not officially divorce until 1967. Even after the end of their marriage, Brynner and Gilmore remained on amicable terms, connected by their mutual love for their son. Gilmore continued to work sporadically in the entertainment industry, though her focus shifted towards personal growth and exploration outside of acting. Second marriage, Doris Kleiner, and life in the public eye. Shortly after his separation from Virginia Gilmore, Brynner entered his second marriage, this time to Chilean model and socialite Doris Kleiner. Kleiner's refined beauty and international background provided a stark contrast to Gilmore's Hollywood roots, and their union brought Brynner into a new phase of life. They married in 1960, during the height of Brynner's fame, and their marriage was heavily scrutinized by the public and media. The couple welcomed a daughter, Victoria Brynner, in 1962. Victoria would later go on to forge her own successful career, founding Stardust Visions, a photographic production company in Los Angeles that worked with major celebrities and fashion houses. Despite their happy early years, Brynner and Kleiner's marriage faced similar challenges to his first. His demanding career, frequent travel, and long separations ultimately led to their separation in 1967. Like his first marriage, Brynner's split from Kleiner was amicable, and they remained connected through their daughter. Third marriage, Jacqueline de Coisset. In 1971, Yul Brynner married French socialite and philanthropist Jacqueline de Coisset. This marriage represented a blending of cultures and lifestyles, as Jacqueline's French sophistication meshed with Brynner's Hollywood stardom. Jacqueline was known for her elegance and humanitarian work, which complemented Brynner's own growing interests outside of acting, including his work with refugees through the United Nations. During their marriage, Brynner and Jacqueline adopted two daughters, Mia and Melody Brynner, further expanding his already growing family. Their household was a vibrant mix of French and American cultures, with the girls growing up in an environment heavily influenced by both their father's Hollywood career and their mother's French heritage. While Brynner's career continued to keep him busy, this period of his life was marked by a stronger focus on family and stability. Despite the deep affection between them, the pressures of Brynner's public life and the challenges of maintaining a marriage under the glare of fame eventually wore on the relationship. The couple divorced in 1981, ending a decade-long marriage that had seen both personal growth and professional success. Brynner, however, remained a devoted father to his daughters, maintaining a close relationship with them throughout his life. Fourth marriage, Kathy Lee, A Final Love. Yul Brynner's fourth and final marriage came later in life when he wed Kathy Lee in 1983. Lee, a dancer, was significantly younger than Brynner, but their connection was undeniable. This marriage, though brief due to Brynner's declining health, was marked by deep affection and support. Lee stood by Brynner's side throughout his battle with lung cancer, offering unwavering care during his final years. Their relationship, though short-lived, was one of quiet companionship and resilience. Brynner's illness meant that much of their time together was spent in private, away from the public eye. Despite the brevity of their marriage, Lee's devotion to Brynner was evident, and she remained with him until his death in 1985. Her presence during his final years provided Brynner with a sense of comfort and peace as he faced the end of his life, fatherhood, and family. Throughout his life, Yul Brynner's children were a central focus for him, even as his career took him across the globe. His son, Yul Brynner II, from his first marriage, and his daughters Victoria, Mia, and Melody were raised with a mixture of discipline, love, and exposure to the arts. Despite the complexities of his romantic relationships, Brynner maintained strong connections with all of his children, ensuring that they grew up with a sense of their father's love and presence. Brynner's family life was as complicated as his career, marked by the highs and lows of fame, the challenges of balancing personal and professional responsibilities, and the strain of maintaining relationships in the public eye. Yet, through it all, Brynner remained a devoted father, a passionate husband, and a man who sought connection and meaning in his relationships, leaving behind a legacy not just as an actor, but as a loving father and partner. The tragic decline of Yul Brynner. Yul Brynner's lively life took a dark turn in the early 1980s due to his long history of heavy smoking, a habit he picked up as a young boy in Russia at the age of just 12. For years, smoking had been a constant companion in his life, contributing to the rugged image he portrayed on screen. However, the damage it caused would eventually prove fatal. In 1983, just hours before what was to be his 4,000th performance of The King and I, Brynner discovered a lump in his throat. Concerned, he immediately sought medical attention. The diagnosis was devastating. Although his throat appeared to be clear, further testing revealed that Brynner had inoperable lung cancer. Doctors informed him that he had only 3 months to live. For Brynner, this news was a crushing blow. His cancer diagnosis was particularly ironic, given his role as King Mongkut in The King and I, a performance in which his voice and commanding presence were key elements. Despite the prognosis, Brynner chose to continue his tour, using his work as a way to focus his energy and emotions. Brynner's dedication to The King and I was unwavering, and the show became a way for him to find solace in the face of his illness. However, the toll of cancer treatment began to affect his ability to perform. His voice, once powerful and clear, became strained. During particularly difficult performances, his son, Brynner, would sometimes stand off stage and dub his father's lines from the director's booth. In an especially poignant moment, Yul hugged his son during an intermission and told him, "You must play the king as an older rock. I am older now, and you must embody the wisdom that comes with it." Despite his declining health, Yul Brynner continued to perform, determined to maintain his legacy on stage for as long as he could. Incredibly, Brynner managed to extend his life well beyond the 3 months his doctors had predicted. He went on to give a remarkable 625 more performances of The King and I, bringing his final total to 4,625 by June 30th, 1985. This final performance marked the end of his illustrious career, a fitting conclusion to his most iconic role. As his health worsened, Brynner continued to use his celebrity status to raise awareness about the dangers of smoking, making a memorable appearance on Good Morning America to openly discuss the role smoking had played in his illness. Yul Brynner's death and the aftermath. On October 10, 1985, Yul Brynner passed away in New York City, succumbing to lung cancer at the age of 65. His death was a significant moment not only for his family, but for his legions of fans around the world who had come to admire his work over the years. In accordance with his wishes, Brynner was cremated, and his ashes were laid to rest in the peaceful surroundings of the Abbey of Saint-Michel-de-Bois-Aubry in France. Brynner's death sparked an outpouring of tributes from friends, colleagues, and fans alike. Many remembered him not only for his powerful performances, but for his role in raising awareness about the dangers of smoking. Just after his death, a public service announcement was broadcast on major television networks, featuring footage of Brynner himself. The PSA, recorded while Brynner was still alive, carried a heartfelt message. "Now that I'm gone, I tell you, don't smoke. Whatever you do, just don't smoke. If I could take back all the years I spent smoking, I wouldn't be here talking about cancer." This powerful anti-smoking message resonated with many, as Brynner's once charismatic, larger-than-life persona was contrasted with the frail figure he had become by the end of his life. His PSA continued to air for years after his death, solidifying his legacy as both an actor and a staunch advocate for public health. The loss of his first wife, Virginia Gilmore's death. The love of Yul Brynner's early life, his first wife, Virginia Gilmore, faced her own health challenges in later years. Gilmore had a notable career as a Hollywood actress, but by the time she reached her later years, her health had begun to deteriorate. Much like Brynner, Gilmore was a heavy smoker, and the years of inhaling tobacco smoke eventually led to chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, a condition that severely affected her lungs and respiratory function. On March 28, 1986, less than 6 months after Brynner's death, Gilmore passed away at her home in Santa Barbara, California, at the age of 66. Her death was attributed to complications from COPD. In accordance with her wishes, Gilmore was cremated by the Neptune Society, and her ashes were scattered at sea. Her death marked the end of a significant chapter in Brynner's life, as she had been a key figure in his early career and personal development. The couple had shared a son, Rock Brynner, and even though their marriage had ended years earlier, they had remained in contact, bonded by their shared love for their son. The death of Jacqueline de Coissey. Following his marriage to Gilmore, Brynner married several other women, including Jacqueline de Coissey, a French socialite. Though their marriage ultimately ended in divorce in 1981, Jacqueline had been an important part of Brynner's life during a pivotal period. After their separation, she continued to live a relatively quiet life, away from the spotlight that had once surrounded her marriage to one of Hollywood's biggest stars. Jacqueline passed away on May 6, 1992, in Paris at the age of 90. Her death was due to kidney failure, a condition that had been worsening over time. Her funeral, held at the Roman Catholic Church of La Madeleine in Paris, was a grand event attended by 1,500 people, including ambassadors from several nations. The French government honored her with a tribute fitting of her status, draping her coffin with the French flag and adorning it with wildflowers and roses sent by the French president, at the time, François Mitterrand. Her coffin was also decorated with medals, including France's Légion d'honneur and the U.S. Medal of Freedom, a testament to her impact not only as an artist, but as a political figure who had strongly opposed Nazism during World War II. Yul Brynner's final love, Kathy Lee's death. Yul Brynner's final wife, Kathy Lee, whom he married in 1983, was with him during his final years. Their marriage, though brief, was one of mutual support, with Lee helping Brynner through his battle with cancer. Kathy Lee's life after Brynner's death remained largely out of the public eye. She carried on quietly after the loss of her husband, continuing to honor his legacy through her private life. Although there is little public information about her final years, Lee's relationship with Brynner was marked by deep affection and her unwavering commitment to his care during his most vulnerable time. A family's loss and reflection. Yul Brynner's death left a significant void in the lives of his children, particularly his daughter Victoria. Victoria, who was 22 at the time of his passing, was devastated by the loss of her father, whom she had viewed as her protector and hero. In the years that followed, she found herself reflecting on her relationship with him and the memories they had shared. One of the most powerful aspects of her recollections centered around her father's love of photography. Brynner, a talented photographer in his own right, had spent years capturing moments from his life, including intimate family scenes and behind-the-scenes images from film sets. Victoria grew up surrounded by these visual memories, often flipping through the black photo albums her mother had curated. Over time, she realized that much of her emotional and creative sensibility had been shaped by these visual experiences. Brynner's friends, renowned photographers like Ernst Haas, Inga Morath, and John Bryson, had also played significant roles in her upbringing, frequently visiting their home and sharing their artistic insights. For Victoria, her father's photography became a way to stay connected to him even after his death. It was through these images that she found solace and a deeper understanding of the man he had been, both as a father and as an artist. Yul Brynner's legacy and impact. Yul Brynner's legacy extends far beyond his iconic roles in film and theater. Best known for his portrayal of King Mongkut in The King and I, Brynner brought a distinct intensity and charisma to the stage and screen, earning both a Tony Award and an Academy Award for this career-defining performance. His magnetic presence made him a trailblazer for actors of diverse ethnic backgrounds in Hollywood, helping to break stereotypes and proving that international stars could dominate the American entertainment industry. Brynner's influence is particularly evident in his ability to captivate audiences with his unique style. His shaved head became his trademark, defying conventional standards of male beauty at the time. This bold choice influenced future generations of actors, turning a once taboo look into a statement of confidence and strength. Outside of acting, Brynner's impact reached into the realm of public health. After his lung cancer diagnosis, he became a vocal advocate against smoking. His posthumous anti-smoking public service announcement, in which he warned against the dangers of cigarettes, resonated with millions and remains one of the most powerful celebrity-led health campaigns ever produced. His openness about his illness contributed to greater awareness of the risks of smoking, cementing his legacy as a health advocate. Globally, Brynner's cultural influence endures. From Russia, where a statue in his honor stands in Vladivostok, to Hollywood's Walk of Fame, his contribution to cinema, theater, and public health advocacy left an indelible mark. His iconic roles, off-screen activism, and lasting impact on global cinema ensure that Yul Brynner's name remains celebrated and respected across generations.